promising walk-ons out there?
You know, I don't know. I only watched one section of the raw trial, so I don't know at this point.
Well, what do you see with Arizona? Nick Wilson replacing Kadeem Carey. Alfred said those comparisons are easy to make, but they're two different guys. What do you like about Wilson?
You know, I think he's very similar to, I think all their backs are very similar. They have great feet, they have great vision, and they're really good getting downhill vertical. So I think all those backs, you watch the film, and whether it's the first guy or the second guy, they look the same. I think they're very talented.
What the quarterback would have been your impressions of him?
Very athletic. He's in a system where the system takes advantage of his abilities. He moves the pocket, he escapes. The receivers keep working. He completes balls down the field. I think their offense is really complete. I think they have a very solid offensive line. They do a great job of blocking at the point of attack. And then the backs do a nice job of working behind it and getting vertical when they see the seams.
Is it obvious that Rodriguez is starting to get more of the guys that fit his system into the program now? Guys that maybe play better in that style than the guys he's had in the past?
You know,
that?
That's a good question. You know, I never studied them until he arrived at Arizona. I know that their operation seems to be moving really smoothly because I think everyone's comfortable with what they're doing. All the players are comfortable with the system, and they've got players in place that really do a nice job in this system.
Coach Ifo was saying that he wants to see some of his guys on defense, kind of step up and be more aggressive out there, not wait for other guys to make the play. Is that something that you see out the defense that you want to improve?
I think defensively, we need to, every week we all need to improve. I mean, all of us need to, and I think as the season goes on, normally there's guys that start to emerge, guys that all of a sudden feel comfortable in the system, and we're always looking and trying to push that because to be successful in this league, every week you have to get better. You can't stay the same. And everyone's getting better, you have to get better. And part of us getting better is everyone's stepping up their game a little more every week. And yeah, we're hoping that continues to happen.
On that note, what kind of things have you seen in the last week and a half in terms of the facets of their game or individuals that are making significant improvements?
I think the biggest thing I've seen in practice this last week is the energy level has been up. The attitude from the standpoint of how hard guys are running to the ball, how hard guys are attacking the ball has improved. And obviously the third thing is overall the communication. The spirit's been really good, and that's a very positive thing.
I think pass rush is important no matter who you're playing. Is it maybe a little more important against a guy like Solomon who hasn't played in a big road game like Austin before?
I think when there's opportunities to rush the passer, you have to be prepared. But the thing you have to also be prepared for against this guy, or if you play Marcus Mariota, you have to be very smart with however you're attacking them. Because if you miss those guys, they can go the distance. So, obviously we've got to do a great job of containing the run and the pass. And obviously when we have our opportunities, we've got to try to get after them.
4 games in, what are your takeaways of the inside linebacker play? Obviously, you oversee that group and have for a while. What do you see about these guys 4 games in?
I think the inside linebacker group as a whole, we've progressed every game. We've gotten better, but we haven't had a great game yet. No one's had a game where we're coming off the field going, yeah, that was awesome. But we've gotten better every game. So there's a lot of plays on the field that we've left out there that if we make, we're all going to be jumping up and down.
The rotation, you guys lost obviously a couple guys there from attrition in the offseason. It looked like that might have made some guys play more off of the veterans there. But yes, Jamie's come in, John's come in, even Danny when he was healthy. Has the rotation been what you wanted? You've been rotating guys for like you would like to so far?
I think we've been doing a pretty decent job. We need to continue to rotate guys a little more. And a lot of that, hopefully everyone's performing well in the special teams. And then as everyone performs on the special teams, we can rotate a little more on defense. So we'd like to get a little more rotation, but guys have to perform and do a good job in both phases.
Early, I guess, progress report on Jimmy, who's, again, only four weeks into his career and is already getting significant minutes and more as each week goes on.
I think Jimmy's done a nice job. I think the bye week was very good for him because there were some things that weren't clear that now he's cleared up. And so he's had a really good week of practice and just need him to continue to progress.
Has Charles Nelson started getting some reps on defense in practice?
Charles Nelson could do anything he wants. So You know, Charles is a tremendous athlete. He's been, you know, he's done a lot of different things for us. And, you know, we're happy with him, and hopefully he can contribute in a lot of places.
But where would he be able to contribute if, say, Charles Nelson wanted to play defense?
If Charles Nelson came over and said, "Hey, coach, I really want to play defense," I would say, "Charles Nelson, we love you on defense," and we would get him out there and work him into rotation. The tough thing when a guy's at this level playing offense and defense, you have to limit their package so much. You know, you're not trying to teach them all the stuff. And it's hard to say, well, we're just going to put a person out there and play man, but then all of a sudden it's combination routes and rub routes and all those things that you've got to kind of coach him a little bit. But if he came over and said he would like to play defense, I'd smile.
Was there any discussion of when you were recruiting him to try and convince Mark to let him come on D?
He was too explosive on offense. I mean, you put his film on in high school and he's making running back kicks and punts. He's doing the same thing, some of the things he's done for us, so it's hard to build a case to change. But
Don, when you look back at the defense, do you look at the fact that, hey, you guys are 4-0, you made stops when you needed to make stops? Do you look at the stats? What do you kind of look at when you're evaluating how you guys are playing defense?
When we evaluate the game, we're looking at the progression of the game. And the game's not always, I mean, it's easy to measure outcomes, but it's a little more it's a little more important for us to measure series. And then break down that series, so what happened on the series. And if you look at calls, you can look at a lot of things in the series, but that's what we look at. And you give any given series, whether, you know, could you call something better? Could you tackle better? Maybe. Where is it? And that's where we spend a lot of time trying to figure it out.
When you've looked at that, what's been sort of the overall takeaway from how you played the first four games?
Inconsistent. Unfortunately, it's kind of the same thing we've said a couple of weeks, but it's been inconsistent. There's been some great things, some great plays, and there's been some plays and situations we really could have been a lot better. The players, coaches, all of us could have been a lot better. It's a work in progress, but that's how it works. You know, the nice thing is that we've been able to, in spite of all that, still be successful. And we feel when we get those things cleaned up and keep moving forward, we can actually be really successful. Really. So that's the charge now. Is okay, here's the things we've identified them. Now let's go to work on these and see if we clean these up, if we can really play a solid game.
Is there a sense that you will have to fix those things to get to where you want to be eventually?
Yeah, I think for all teams, if you don't get better in the area, at some point that area's going to hurt you. So you have to identify them, you have to work on them. If not, it's not going to go away. At some point, people are so, coaches are really sharp, they'll fight it. So you've got to clean them up. Awesome. Thank you, guys.